high school sports fans? Welcome to 806 High School Sports Connection, the playoff edition. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're about to give you the rundowns for the second week of the playoffs.
Yes,
Jason, it was a good week of playoffs last week.
Yes, sir. It was a good week.
Give us the rundown.
It was a great week. I feel like, we just had one shocker we'll get to later, but as far as the other games go, everything kind of fell into place with what we thought before, you know, and it's leading up to some great matchups coming in this area round we're going to get to. Let's jump into the 6A division. You had Friendship beating El Paso Eastwood 52-17. The game was real close in the third quarter. It was 21-17. Matter of fact, Eastwood came out and scored a touchdown at the start of the third quarter. Friendship rails off 35 unanswered points.
Wow.
How about Grant Sandercox? 200 yards rushing and also had 2 scores for the Friendship Tigers. You also had Broderick Harrell with a big pick in the third quarter to keep that momentum going. And the defense had 3 interceptions. Defense played great for Friendship. Paso Eastwood gave them a tough test, which is good for them to have on on their resume when they start going down this big 6A D1 bracket.
Yes.
Because it's coming. And you also had Amarillo beating El Paso El Dorado 41-27. That game was close in the third quarter. Matt Ortega with a big touchdown pass. Hogan Walker with a big touchdown run at fullback for the Sandies to keep it rolling. They lost to Friendship the week before. They come back, get back on the winning level. They're doing great. He also had Tascosa with maybe the most exciting win in 6A. 31-28 win, last second kicking the field goal to win that game over El Paso Franklin. Jacob Bickers with a big time touchdown around the fourth quarter to tie that game. And to come back and win that game, they were down 28-6. So Tascosa shows some heart. Both Amarillo teams go to Midland and get wins over El Paso teams to advance. Then you had our good LISD team, Monterey, the Plainsmen. I feel like they're getting back to normal. Big time win, 48-21 over El Paso Americas. Vincent Johnson, 16 carries, 276 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Wow.
What do you think about that? When you do that in the playoffs, I feel like now you have asserted yourself. When you do that in the playoffs, you can do it in the season, but now the competition get a little stiffer. Still putting up gaudy numbers. Great job for their playmen. Baylor Mitchell stepping in their quarterback for Hunter Spade, starting at the Randall game, has showed me a lot. Has grown into his position at the quarterback, is leading that team, and you're gonna have to really bring your A game to beat Monterey. This isn't the same Monterey team we've seen in week 2 or 3. Let's talk about some matchups coming up. Friendship gets Abilene High at home.
Wow.
Basically at home. It's Plains Capital Park. That's just right down the street. Big time game for Friendship to get Abilene High at home. Haven't been this close in a long time in the playoffs for an area round matchup.
It's been a while.
They should be able to capitalize, I feel, against Abilene High. Amarillo gets Arlington Lamar in Wichita Falls. That'll be at 7:30 on a Friday. You also have Tascosa getting Mojo. Odessa Permian. Saturday at 1 o'clock at Plains Capital Park.
Wow.
Great doubleheader coming from Plains Capital Park this weekend. Then you have Monterey. They go out here to Midland. They'll take on San Angelo Central at 4 p.m. at the Grand Communication Stadium in Midland. What do you think about those matchups, Vic?
Man, all those matchups are great matchups, and I'll keep saying it. If you're in this time of the year in football, man, that's a great thing, man. Friendship, Monterey, all those schools in that 6A division. Good luck to you guys, and keep working and just try to get on and move down the line. That's
right, 6A, man. If you win in there, you can't get no better than that. That's the top of the upper echelon.
Yes, it is.
Let's jump into the 5A. How about Randall beating Abilene Cooper in probably the game of the week in 5A?
Wow.
34-27. 27 all. 2 minutes to go in the game. Senior Brett Tapp leads his team down the field with a touchdown. 19-yard run, 26-yard pass. Big time win for Randall. Wyatt Garden had a great game, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a 67-yard touchdown run in the first quarter to start the game off for the Raiders. Abilene Cooper fought valiantly, fought hard. Randall comes out with the win. You also have Paladuro. Another great game. Goes to Plainview. Beats Plainview in Plainview in overtime, 31-28.
Wow.
Rally from 10 points down in the fourth quarter. Come back, tie the game, and then overtime get a field goal to win the game. Great job, Plainview. Great job, Paladuro, to win that game in Bulldog Stadium. Their first home playoff game since 2006.
Wow, that's big.
Wow. How about Lakeview? Here's our shocker of the week, folks. Our shocker. Lakeview beats Canyon 26-21.
Oh, that is.
Cannot believe it. I thought Canyon was about to go on one of their prime runs. Lakeview knocks them out. Wow. And let's talk about Lubbock Cooper. Beating Hereford 45-14. Colton Ayers 361 total yards and 5 touchdowns. Colton Ayers is really showing me something. Ever since that Stephenville game, he's been lighting up the scoreboard.
Yes, he has.
I think that loss was what they needed, Tablin Cooper.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I noticed when I was riding out to Amarillo to cover a couple of games, every 10 miles, I saw a Cooper Pirates sign on the side of the street. Go Pirates.
That's support.
Defense. Wreck the herd. You know what that showed me? That I gained a lot. I already thought I had enough respect for Cooper.
Yeah.
Gave me like gobs of more respect for Lubbock Cooper for them to do that.
Yeah.
So if I'm leaving, I left early. That game went till 7. The Cooper game, my game, it started at 4. So for them kids to get to see that on the way out there,
yeah,
unbelievable support from Lubbock Cooper and their staff, their booster club. Whoever put that together, you guys did an admirable job.
Yes,
unbelievable job.
Yeah.
And I know those kids appreciate it. I did too. I was actually trying to take pictures while I was driving, but I didn't want to get in a wreck, so I had to put that camera back down. All right, let's talk about their matchups. You know, you have Randall. They get El Paso Andress at home Saturday at noon at Kimbrough Stadium. They won the coin flip.
Yeah.
They get the home game in area round. That stadium will be full because Randall has a big supporting cast coming with them for a home game. Paladuro gets El Paso El Duval. They'll play in Midland on Saturday. You also have Lakeview playing Cantu. Is it Cantu? It's Cantu. I don't know how to say it, but it's Cantu, another team from El Paso. They play on Saturday at 2 o'clock. And then you have Cooper. They play El Paso East Lake at 2 o'clock at Canyon, Kimbrough Stadium, too. All right. What do you think about those matchups?
Hey, man, 5A, good matchups, man. Seemed like I'm really surprised to see Lakeview, man. I think that was the biggest shocker of all those, you know, because Lakeview kind of struggled during the season. But for them to come in and get a win against a program like Canyon in the playoffs, man, that says a lot. And it lets you know also that, hey, no matter what goes on, anything can happen in the playoffs. So I'm pretty excited to see what's going to go on in the 5A division.
Like you said, when you get in the playoffs, you can do this. Dance a little bit. They danced their way to a big win. Congrats,
yes,
Lakeview.
Yeah, congrats.
Let's jump into 4A. 4A represent themselves well. Andrews, besides Borger played great. They just ran into a very hot Andrews team, and they beat them 61-20. They were up 41-0 at half.
Yeah.
Andrews gets Big Spring next, which you know we'll talk about that later. Let's jump into 4A. How about Seminole? Shutting out Fabens 35-0.
Wow.
Seminole played great, man. Shutting out a team in the playoffs is that's a heck of a feat to pull off.
Yes,
everybody can't do that. We had Levelland beating Clint 54-18. Levelland's first playoff win in 18 years.
Wow, congratulations.
Congratulations, Levelland Lobos in the playoffs and making some noise.
Yes, they are.
How about Nick Gerber, 237 total yards and 4 touchdowns?
Wow.
Still putting up big numbers, regardless. And then let's jump into this, Vic. You went and watched that game, the 68-7 smashing Estacado put on Mountain View. Tell us about that game.
Hey, man, a good game, man. Estacado looked real sound, man. It came out, they had a few fumbles and things, the things that they could clean up, man. But overall, man, Estacado played a great football game, man. 4 backs over 100 yards, man. 4 backs, man. And you know, that just said a lot about the Matadors and their rushing game, man, and the defense, man. I rode you. Yeah, I rode you, but hey, man, they look like they're clicking and getting on the right path to try to play some championship football. Yes. So congratulations to Coach Danny Savans, his coaching staff, and the Estacado Matadors.
Yeah, when we went to see him at 2 days, we talked about how they had a good problem. Because they had 4 or 5 backs that could run that football.
Oh, yes, they did.
And it started to materialize in the playoffs where you need it, and Estacado has gotten very hot at the right time.
Yeah.
Estacado's next opponent is the Racket Jackets.
Yeah.
Stephenville.
Yeah.
Without Stidham, they're still good.
Yeah.
They won their game also in 4 overtimes.
Wow.
68-64. That was the longest game for Stephenville in history.
Wow.
So to win in 4 overtimes, Kagan Williams, the University of Tennessee commit, had 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns. So obviously, he's a point of concern for the Matadors. The Matadors' whole team is a point of concern for the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. That's going to be a great game Friday night. Shotwell Stadium in Abilene, 7:30. We will be there to cover that game.
Yeah.
You have Levelland taking on Abilene Wiley. That'll be in Midland Grand Communication Stadium Friday at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
At 8 p.m., I apologize. At 8 p.m. And then also you have Seminole taking on Graham and Graham. Wow. They lost the coin toss. So they will take on Graham and Graham at 7:30 Friday night. Take on the number 4 team in the country. I mean, state 3A. But I'm riding for Kent Jackson.
Yeah.
Pull it out, Kent Jackson.
Yes, sir.
All right, when we come back off break, we'll be jumping into some more area round reviews and by district reviews and area previews. Jason Pearson, Victor Hatchett, 806 Hssc TV.
Step to number 2, Cameron Mathis. That's complete to number 4, Boston Andrews.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome back to 806 High School Sports Connection. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're in the playoff editions. Jason, we're going into the second week of the playoffs. Give us the rundown in the 3A division.
Yes, sir. Let's start off a 3A D1. You have Muleshoe beating Kermit 31-7. That game was closer than it looked. It was 10-7 at halftime. Kermit had a 55-yard touchdown run. They were up 7-0 for a long time. Then Muleshoe scored 31 straight points. They scored 10 of those in the second. It was 10-7 at half. They come out and scored 21 straight points. Wow. Keegan Gonzalez, Josh Lopez both scoring 2 touchdowns apiece on the ground. Muleshoe does what they do well. Run it up your mouth. Very tough team. Great win for Muleshoe. Kermit, you had a great season also. You had Shallow Water beating Freona 42-6 on Thursday night in Plainview. I went to go cover that game. Freona played well to me. It was 14-0. Freona goes down there, gets a touchdown, makes it 14-6, and it's an extra point. But the game turned when they kicked the ball back off to Shallow Water. DJ Townsend takes it 85 yards for a touchdown to make it 21-6 with 5 seconds to go in the half. After that, Shallow Water comes out, scores 21 more points, makes it 42-6, and gets the win. Freona Chieftains have nothing to hang their head about. You guys played well. You just met a better team. Sometimes it happens. But you represented your school admirably. Great job. You had Brownfield. I thought this was the game of the week in 3A D1. Down 28-0 in the first half, Vic. I thought the game was over. Wow. I look back. All of a sudden, it's 28-28 in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go. Wow. And then Jalen Nolan, the super freshman is what I call him, scores a touchdown with 4 minutes to go in the game. The defense holds. Childress. How about Brownfield winning 35-28? Wow. How about that freshman going through all the adversities on the fields we're talking about now, all these things he's been through this year to pull that game out for the Cub Nation? Sick him. Wow. They sicked him. Gave him a 28-point head start and came back and won. Childress had a great year. Bobcats, he played great. Just couldn't hold the lead. But Brownfield turned it on. Simon Hawkes, 30 carries, 187 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Wow. He played great also. And let's get into our game of the week that just happened last night. Denver City wins 28-27. I had this guy on Twitter. He DM'd me and said, did they miss an extra point? No, they didn't miss an extra point. Littlefield tied it up with 1:05 to go. Dontre Ewing on a 3-yard touchdown run to make it 21-21. They go into overtime. Saul Gutierrez throws a touchdown pass to Garcia to make it 28-21. Littlefield comes back on their possession, get a touchdown from DeMondrick Moore. They went for 2. Oh, they didn't get it. Oh, that's tough. What do I think about that? I thought that was a no guts, no glory. That was a heck of a call for Coach Huseman. Heck of a way to go out. That right there is rolling the dice. You came up with a crap, but you still. That to me, I respect my coach more than you want to win. Yeah. What do you think about that particular game and that call going for 2 in overtime?
Hey man, my old saying during all the season and all the playoffs, you just gotta let the chips fall where they may, man. That was a gutsy call, and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. Shouts out to Littlefield for a good season, play some good ball. I hate to see him go out like that, but hey, I can't be mad at the coach. That's just a call. Sometimes that's the decision you got to make. You got to live with it. Yeah. And the game that stand out to me is that Brownfield game. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. For those kids to be down 28-0 and fight back and win 35-28. Yeah. Hey, man, that says a lot about the Brownfield Cubs, man. And congratulations to you guys moving forward. Yes. You know what? On the Littlefield game, Littlefield, as we both said, both teams weren't the same. Denver City wasn't that dominant team that beat them 39-14 in week 4. Yeah.
Littlefield wasn't that team that got dominated in week 4.
Mm.
Things have changed. The gap closed real quick.
Yes, it did.
As we could see, Denver City has a big game next week. Let's jump out to those games. Muleshoe will take on Breckenridge. It'll be Thursday night in Snyder at the Sweetwater Mustang Bowl. Not Sweetwater, I apologize, Snyder, Texas. You have Shallowater. They're gonna take on Boyd. That'll be at 2 p.m. Shotwell Stadium, Abilene.
Okay.
Big game for Shallowater.
Yeah.
Brownfield, it may be the biggest game in 381. Taking on number 2 ranked Wall. Rattler Stadium, Odessa.
Mm.
Get out there, Brownfield fans. As Vic says, support your school. They need you for that game. Wall is the real deal. But Brownfield's the real deal also.
Also, yes.
Come on, Brownfield, let's go. And then you have Denver City taking on Friday night, San Angelo ISD Stadium at 7:30.
Mm.
Denver City made it to this point last year and got beat by Bangs. They thought they were going to see Bangs. Brock bangs 57-0.
Wow.
So a lot of big games on the board coming up in 381.
Yeah.
Let's jump into 382. How about Spearman beating City View 48-7?
Wow.
Spearman is rolling, folks. The Lynx are linking up and linking folks to the chain of losses. That's 11 straight teams they played, 11 straight L's for the other team.
Wow.
How about Post beating Great Creek? Great Creek, congrats for making your first ever playoff appearance. That got beat 62-21.
Oh.
Post put it on them, man, in the Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater.
Wow.
You have Eastland beating Tulia 30-6. Tulia had a great year. Those Eastland Mavericks are the real deal.
Yeah.
And then you also had Cisco beating Highland Park 53-7. And Cisco is the #1 ranked team in the state in 3A. So nothing to hang your head about.
Exactly.
Let's jump into next week's matchup. Idalou and Sonora. That'll be Friday in Midland Greenwood at 7:30. To me, that both of those teams, you know, that they do the same thing. They both like to run the ball. Brant Schilling had 244 yards and 3 touchdowns in his playoff game against Henrietta. That game is a complete toss-up to me. You know, it's not going to be a lot of passing. That's going to be a football, your dream, a good dream, defensive run. That's what you like. That's going to be a heck of a game. And then you have Post taking on Cisco. That's going to be a big game. It'll be Friday, 7 p.m. at the Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater. So Post gets to go to Sweetwater again. Yeah. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. And you got Spearman taking on Alpine. That'll be in Brownfield at Cub Stadium at 7:30 on Friday. What do you think about those 3 matchups?
Hey, man, great matchups, man. I'll say it again. Get out and go support those schools, parents, fans. Get out there and see those games. All those games are great, intriguing games to go watch, man. It's that time of the year, Jason.
Yes.
It's playoffs, baby.
Yes, sir. It is. Like I say, I just, that Brownfield and Wall jumps off the page at me. This Post and Cisco, I think Post can get it done. All the things Post has been through this year, beating Cisco is way on the bottom of the totem pole to me. They can do this.
Yes, they can.
They've been through a whole lot more.
Yes, they can.
When we come back off break, we'll be jumping into the mighty, murderous, dangerous 2A bracket, D1 and D2. Victor Hatchett, Jason Pearson, 806 Hssc TV.
Hey, high school sports fans, welcome back to 806 High School Sports Connection, the playoff edition. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson, and we're about to give you the rundown in the 2A division.
Yes.
Jason, give it to us.
All right. Y'all make sure to give us y'all's download while we giving stuff. Y'all give us y'all's download on our 806 HSSC mobile app in the Apple Store on iTunes, also in Google Play on Android. 2,300 downloads and counting. We have all the playoff matchups already there. So we talking to you about it. You can go see them for yourselves, the game and time, so you know how to get there and plan accordingly.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into 2AD1. Canadian had a bye, of course, the number 3 ranked team in the state in 2A. You had Stratford, New Deal. I went to go cover this game. Stratford wins 47-10.
Wow.
That shocked me because New Deal beat them last year. I feel like New Deal's gotten better. They got healthy. Baylor Bean, you know. We don't have to go through the list of characters. They got a bunch of great players on their team. Hard list of Jackson brothers, Vasquez, Ramirez. It was 19-0 with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Wow.
I mean, Stratford came out there. Ty Hssc with a big 47-yard touchdown in their first play from scrimmage. They held up. They get New Deal, get him a 3-and-out. Gage Brooks comes back and scores a touchdown. One of his 4 touchdowns in the game. Stratford had revenge on their mind and went out there and delivered the boom.
That's what they did. Yes,
they delivered the boom. New Deal had nothing to hang their head about. I think Stratford's about 2. If you look at the brackets yourself on Texas UIL, it looks like Stratford and Canadian will be meeting again in a couple of weeks. So Stratford's the real deal, folks. That's not a bad loss. That's just a loss to a better team. You had Wellington. Also, they delivered the skyrocket boom to Florida 58-22.
Wow.
I went out there. Tucker Lawrence had, a touchdown. It was 7-0. Wellington just got busy, I feel. They went out there and I scored them 58-14 after that.
Wow.
Wellington, Colton Long, DJ McKnight. That was my first time hearing of him. Like I said, that was my first time across. What I like about the playoffs, I finally get to see teams I haven't seen all year.
Yeah, you're right.
I see that DJ McKnight is the real deal. 19 carries, 165 yards, and 4 touchdowns for Wellington. Jonathan Townsend, a wide receiver for Wellington, played great also. That defense was everywhere on the field. Towards the end of the game, they had a quarterback sack, fumble, recovering a touchdown to put the icing on the cake in that game.
Yeah.
Abernathy had a bye, which brings us to the next week's matchups. Canadian will take on Windthorst Friday night, 7:30 at Vernon, Texas. Stratford will take on Azona, 7:30 p.m. Friday at Lubbock Cooper Pirate Stadium. We'll cover that game. Wellington takes on Stanford.
Oh.
That'll be Friday at 7:30 at Iowa Park. How about that game there? How about that game? You got the defending champion versus the back-to-back defending champion. So a state champion is gonna knock out a state champion.
Wow.
That will be, all eyes will be on that game.
Yeah.
I got a feeling a lot of reporters will be on that sideline covering that game.
Yeah.
Then you have Abernathy taking on Holly Friday, 7:30 in Big Spring. Abernathy rested. Nick Clarkson's back. Ryan Lewis on the defensive side. Cassius Cunningham. Garrett Royal. Look out.
Yeah.
This, to me, I feel like this is their year. They'll get the winner, Wellington and Stanford, if they win, if they beat Holly. What do you think about that? 2AD1.
Hey man, that was some good matchups, man. I give a shout out to New Deal for a good season, man. They ran into a pretty tough team in this round. And also I want to give a shout out to Florida for a good season, man. The Whirlwinds play some good football. It's good to see their program move forward this season. But the playoffs, one and done. That's the way it goes, and you just got to continue to work next year and hopefully see your team move forward.
Yeah.
And so you wish the best for all the teams that won also.
Yeah.
Moving forward. So it's gonna be interesting to see in that division right there who's gonna come out on top.
This 2A division is just murderous. Just every round is an unbelievable state caliber matchup.
Yes,
in the early rounds. Stratford New Deal meeting in the first round when they met in the state semis last year.
Wow,
is crazy, crazy. I thought it would be a better result, but still New Deal played a great season.
Yes, they did.
Injuries hurt them this year. They could have got a better seed.
Yeah,
I feel. Let's jump into 2AD2. How about Quanah beating Sundown 46-26? Booker had to bye. Crosby did not have to bye. Here they're back now.
Yeah.
They may get Ian Mendez back now. He was injured. I think he's back.
Yeah.
And Sunray, maybe my surprise in this game, beats Vega. I was shocked about that. 24-14. Sunray beats Vega.
Wow.
Wow. And you had Groover beat Spring Lake Earth 41-7. I kind of saw that coming, and I wanted Spring Lake. I was kind of rooting for Spring Lake Earth because Coach DeLeon is a great coach.
Yes, he is.
Groover just had it on their mind to get the job done. And they're 10-1. Farwell had a break. And how about Memphis beating Smyre? I had a player tell me, he inboxed me and sent me a picture of them with the golden ball. He said, we got our revenge for when they knocked us out in the basketball playoffs last year. Well, you know, I don't know, man. You know, because Smart, as far as basketball goes, they're going to be good again.
Yes,
they're going to knock y'all out again. So
yeah.
you got to be careful what you say sometimes.
Yeah.
But, okay, so about Booker playing Quantum. It'll be Friday at 5 p.m. at River Road in Amarillo.
Mm-hmm.
Booker's the real deal. The key was Hunter Lau, Jared Reagan. All-state performers, all-state records in receiving for Reagan and passing for Hunter Lau.
Wow.
Quantum's going to have their hands full. Crosbyton, the team that everybody, you know, is on the bandwagon now. 1/3 at the start, including us, we were teetering on. We own it.
Yeah.
I'm in the front seat, big in the passenger seat with the seatbelt on. Great team, man, and loaded. Got a feeling they're about to start a special journey.
Yes.
They play Sunray, 7 o'clock, Kimbrough Stadium in Canyon. I will be driving my car there to cover that game.
Yeah.
Great game. Seagraves and Groover. A rematch from last year.
Mm.
Seagraves won 70-40 last year. So Kyle had 450 yards rushing in that game. So Groover wants some revenge.
Yes, they do.
I don't know if they get that revenge against Seagraves. You know,
Yeah,
Tanner Rodriguez is back. And then Farwell, you know, they had a break. They'll take on Memphis Thursday night, 7:30, Bulldog Stadium in Plainview. Farwell, J.J. Herrera, Kurt Langford, Adrian Allman. They look like they're ready to get it done.
Yes.
So, what do you think about that, Ricky?
Hey, man, I like all these matchups right here, too, man. You know, and I probably sound like I'm repeating myself, but, you know, it's playoff season. I'm excited, man, just to see these kids move forward. You know, and just want to give a shout-out to all the programs that's in the playoff in this extra season, man. You know, you wish luck to all of them moving forward, and you hope they can continue to do what they need to do to get their program on the right track.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm excited to see Crosbyton. Team of the year.
Yes.
For the 806 Hssc.
Yes.
Hey man, I'm excited to see those guys. And Seagraves, you know, wow, what can you say about oh man, what can you say about Corey Cal, man?
Nothing they miss it.
He's about to put his cape on and make that run. He's about to put this cape on and make that run, and I'm excited to see those playoff games also, man. So good luck to all you guys.
Good luck. All right, guys, when we come back, we'll go over our Elite 8 players in the bi-district round. They doing it big time in the playoffs. Prime time, as Deion Sanders would say. Jason Pearson, Victor Hatchett. We'll be right back. Welcome to 806 Hssc TV by District Round Playoff Edition. Victor Hatchett, Jason Pearson, the tag team doing our thing. Let's go over the Elite 8 performances or players of the by District Round. It just means a little more in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How about Brant Schilling? Once again, 19 carries, 244 yards, and 3 more scores for the Alou Wildcats. Playing great.
Yes.
How about that?
How about the number 2 player, Brant Taft?
Yeah. For
the Randall Raiders, man. 286 total yards, man, and 2 TDs and a final touchdown in that last drive, man. Good job.
Randall Raiders blessed with another week in the playoffs.
Yes.
That's all you can ask for. At home.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. How about Nick Gerber? I'm going to start calling him All Madden. He putting up those Madden numbers when you're playing with Brady on medium.
Yeah.
237 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's 48 total touchdowns so far for Nick Gerber.
Wow. Woo. How about number 4? Estacada High School's offensive line, man.
Yeah.
Over 400 yards rushing, man, and 4 different players over 100 yards, man. Hey, man, shout out to Jalen McQueen, Hollis Reddy, Taylor Wallace, James Kristoff, and Big Kendra Quigley, man. Good job, guys, moving forward. Keep doing good moving forward.
Great job. Please stump the Racket Jackets.
Yes.
All right. How about Gage Brooks for the Stratford Elks? 11 carries, 103 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I saw everyone. He played great.
Hey, the number 6 player, Colton Ayers of Lubbock Cooper, man. This guy's been here before, man.
Yeah.
Great numbers again. 361 total yards and 5 touchdowns, man. What a job by that guy.
Great job, Coach Catwinkle. Sprinkling that magical dust. It might end up out there in Dallas pretty soon.
Yes.
How about DJ McKnight for Wellington? 19 carries, 161 yards, and 4 touchdowns in their win over Florida.
Wow, good job.
Yeah.
How about the number 8 player, my bad, Tucker Lawrence of the Florida Whirlwinds, man.
Yes.
4 catches, 122 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Good job.
Yeah. What about Brownfield's team? How about them coming back from a 28-0 deficit to win the game 35-28? I thought that was worthy of a mention.
Yes,
Take us on, Vic.
Man, hey, man, good job by all those teams, all these teams in the playoffs, man, and we'll see you in the area around. This is 806 High School Sports Connection. I'm Victor Hatchett with my co-host Jason Pearson. Y'all have a good evening.